to the Charmain TV show. News brought to you by Naya TV. Hope that you're feeling comfortable and comfy in yourself. You've got a cup of tea ready? Good morning, good morning. We slept the whole night through. Good morning to you. Good morning. Oh, I slept the whole night through. Good morning. Now I'm ready for the news. Ready for some news. Hope that you're all okay. Slept quite well, nice and easy. Ready to meditate your mind and watch some TV, but a little bit different than the TV than before, because this is Manchester's finest. We got Dave, he's ready to go, ready to save the day. Save the day, save the day, save the way, raid the day. Charmain, Naya TV. So kick back, relax, and enjoy your being. Good morning to you. Good morning. Oh, we slept the whole night through. Good morning to you. Good morning. I'm happy to welcome you to the Charmain News. To the Charmain Berry News. So open your heart, open your mind, and take a moment
So welcome to
understand as we redefine life.
Watching this on the restream at a later date. Big warm welcome. Today's date is Saturday, August the 22nd, and it's still the year 2020. And got a really exciting couple of guests on the show today. I'm really looking forward to this. We've got joining me Jay Diamond, who is a relationship and sex coach, and also have Craig Winterburn, who's a local musician, character, and gongmeister in Manchester, and he's going to be joining me in a little while. And we've also got our regular feature from Christina Batty, and she's going to be sharing the Mayan calendar report as she does every week. So tune in to find out what the Mayans have in store for us in this week, in these really interesting times, as always. So over to our first guest now. I have with me Jay Diamond. Hello, Jay. Hi, welcome, darling. So good to have you here. Really excited about this. So I'm just going to share a little bit about you, Jay. So Jay Diamond is ×2, not just one, ×2 international best-selling author. We'll talk a little bit about your book in a while. And she's also been nominated as Best Dating Coach. She predominantly helps women over the age of 35, but also many other people, female leaders, to clear deep, energetic love blocks so they feel empowered and have the confidence to ignite their feminine power. Love that. And to naturally attract and keep their soulmate. As a personal development expert, she helps her clients turn pain into power and stand on top of their story, not underneath it. I love that. I love that little way of explaining that. Her superpower is helping abuse survivors. Brilliant. You've been featured on Fox News, ABC, Urban Social Dating, Elephant Journal, and London and Surrey Times, and you firmly believe we can create a better future no matter what happened in the past. And we can talk about that as well, the sort of the link between that and what's happening now. And it's just absolutely brilliant work, Jay. Fantastic. And I was having a look at your bio as well on LinkedIn, and I saw that you've also got a degree in psychology and sociology back from 2001, which is the same year that I graduated as well.
Many moons ago.
Many moons ago. You've also been a radio host and a DJ, and you've trained in different healing modalities, and also a yoga teacher.
Yes, there's a lot there, isn't there?
There's a lot there. It sounds like you've had an epic journey, Jay. Do you want to say a little bit about that before we start talking about your work?
Oh God, say what? Like there's so much.
There is so much. There absolutely is. But just a bit about, something drew you into psychology and sociology and helping people and sort of getting on that healing path. I find like often we're doing that to heal ourselves because of what we've been through ourselves, and we're coming out of our own traumatic childhoods quite often and trying to find a pathway and then sharing those teachings as we're going along. Does that? Yeah. Okay.
Exactly that. I actually started as a Reiki practitioner when I was 18 years old. And it was only when I got a lot older that I realized that kind of work, doing that kind of work at 18 was actually highly unusual. And I really took for granted the psychic gifts that I had, because I just kind of presumed that everyone else could do that kind of thing. It's just that they just weren't choosing to. And there's some truth to that. So I was a Reiki master at 21. And then I was just on this trajectory of self-healing, really, that took me over the next 20 years. And I kind of really came into a place of mastery for energy healing, and like worked more on my psychic gifts. And and so like over like a long period of time, I accepted, because there's a difference, isn't there, between what the ego desires and thinks that I should have and all the conditioning that you have. So it's like I have this dream because this is what I think I should do and this is what proves my worth as a human, right? Mixed with like some of my natural gifts. And then there's like, how can the divine move through me? How does life want to move through me? What is my genius? And sometimes these things are not exactly the same. So I spent a lot of time, actually sidelining my gifts, because I was in radio, I was doing dance and music, and I was doing great stuff in radio and DJing and things like that. And then it came to a point where I kind of took all the healing work was a sideline, and then those things shifted. And then what happened was, as I was going deeper into my work and I was exploring around relationships and looking at why my personal relationships were so difficult, and on that healing path, and as I went deeper and deeper into that place and started to transform and grow and shift consciousness, people were asking me like, what's working for you? Like, things are changing, can you show me, like, what have you learned? Why does that work? And that's how I really put my stamp in the ground and started to work as a love and intimacy coach, because I gained so much wisdom in that area, and so much transmission flows from me in that place. And so when women, and men step into the containers with me, something in them shifts.
Wow. So it's kind of like, I love what you're saying there about how it's what's flowing through you. It's like getting the ego stuff out of the way, and then what's, what am I really doing here through, through that flow, and then becoming that, and then people feeling that in you and wanting to understand what it is. And that's kind of, could say that's what's inspiring you to do what you do. It's like it's inspired work, like literally inspired work to share with people.
And then when I was initially when I was writing my book, it was like my journey about overcoming sexual abuse and all the different things that I'd done, from psychedelic work in the desert in Mexico to like different kind of plant medicine journeys to like healing and shamanism and astral body, like all this amazing stuff. And then one day I was with a mentor, and she said, what is it that you really have to teach? Like, what did you really need and wish that you'd have had on your journey? And that something inside me really clicked, because I thought, this isn't about me. This is bigger than me. This is bigger than my life. Like, my story's nice, but it's not useful to other people. What's useful is how I can help people in their own lives. And so in that moment, I kind of threw 2 years of work of this book up in the air and just used it as a guideline, and then created the book Abuse to Abundance, because what I really realized was at the beginning of my journey, I didn't realize how abuse can permeate so many different areas of somebody's life, how it affects their ability to create money, how it affects their body image, their interpersonal relationships, the vibration of shame and what that does. And okay, I thought, right, that's it. And that was my biggest fear, was like stamping that, putting my stake in the ground and saying, I'm going to share this from a deeper place, because I was afraid. I was afraid of being judged. I was afraid what people might say. I was afraid of what my family might think, actually, if I was to like really come out and talk about all this stuff. Even though some of my family really supported me, it's like being able to alchemize those fears was what allowed me to like really step into my power, and then share that so that other people can be ignited in their power as well.
That's wonderful, yeah. And making that connection, we're only just, I think, especially in the last 10 years or so, really getting a grip on all the ways that abuse and trauma, but especially something around abuse and, how we interact with people in terms of relationship, particularly, because it isn't it's a relational thing. It's a relational trauma when we're sexually abused. And we're only just really, really getting an angle on this and the impact of it. So it's a really, really brave thing to do, because even now it's not kind of mainstream. We're not talking about this to psychiatrists and at the moment and things. It's not typically out there that we're making those connections between what's happening to me now and what happened to me back then. And I think that can be very illuminating for people just to realize that. Have you found that?
Absolutely. Like that's what the book is about. It's like allowing people to connect the dots. And so by using some of my story, and it's not just like, oh, this is all about me and my story. It's like, here's how I connected the dots. And it's like sometimes you see yourself when it's reflected through someone else, right? It's like through that story, like, oh, right, that's how it works now. I get it. And so it's been a really interesting journey.
Amazing.
And from that place, amazing things have happened.
And also you said that there's practical things in the book. Like, it's not just like reading about my story. Here are some practical things that you can do to get yourself on that journey to release this and to break out of those patterns.
It's like a mini workshop.
Wow, that's fantastic. What's the name of the book again?
It's called, and would you know, I have a copy here.
Oh,
as if by magic.
Nice.
It's called A Beautiful Abundance.
Beautiful cover. I really like that. So people can get that on Amazon. And
you can find it on Amazon. You can get it on Kindle and download it, or you can buy the hard copy, either way.
Yeah, brilliant. I'm sure it's been really inspiring for a lot of people. Okay, so let's talk about relationships and the world of relationships. And I think it's like, I don't know, it's a topic that's usually at the forefront of most people's minds. It's something that's impacting on us in whatever shape or form that relationship is, but particularly around our intimate relationships and our partnerships and that sort of thing. And can I just say as well, if anybody has any questions for Jay, I mean, we've got a relationship expert here with us. Please do get in touch. We've got somebody on our socials here, so drop us a line. Just put it in the comments and we can put the question to Jay here. But yeah, the world of relationships. So would you say that, or what would you say is the biggest thing that we tend to struggle with? So and this is for men and for women, I suppose, but when somebody's struggling to find the right person and Mr. Right or Mrs. Right, what tends to be, do you think, in your opinion, or what have you seen? And I know it's a big thing to funnel down to a few things, but what seems to be the sort of predominant problem with that?
At the moment, what I'm finding with singles is they are struggling with quality, the quality of the people that they're meeting, and overwhelm with actually finding someone. And what does it actually take to meet someone and actually create relationships? So we kind of live in this age now of like immediate consumption, immediate gratification. There's like more dating apps than I can keep up with. And the thing is, because of the way that our lifestyles are now, especially in the West, and the way that things are set up, we have this consumerist kind of culture. and we can go on an app, and we have this illusion, and it is an illusion, and we buy into this illusion. It's like, okay, we have endless options, endless options, endless options. And so back in the day, when people used to approach, like, when you used to have a newspaper, or like people would write into the agony ants, and they'd talk about specific issues of, like, around problems within the relationship, like, is this okay, I'm having this issue, is this all right, and what should I do about it? Now, a lot of the things with singles is, how do I know this is the right person for me? How do I know that this is the best I can get? How do I know there's not somebody better out there?
Okay.
And that comes with this kind of illusion that there's always somebody better. There's always another person that you can go to, which is true, but we can very much get stuck in this mindset of, there must be something better, so I'm not going to handle this. There must be something better, so I can handle this. So that's one piece. And another piece is, like, people are literally getting dating app fatigue. And some of that is the mentality that they approach dating apps with. And of course, dating apps aren't the only way, but they feel like it's the easiest way, because the truth is, the harsh truth is, most people are not willing to do the work that it takes for them to be open to just meeting people in everyday life, to talk to people in everyday life, to have an open heart, to have and build resilience. This is one of the things that I talk to my clients about, and in my Facebook lives, is like building this sense of resilience where you don't need each person that comes along to be the person. And so when we have all these options, it's like, okay, this person must be the person. Okay, that's not the person. Then there's another person. Okay, well, that person must be the person. Okay, they're not the person. Okay, this must be the person. And it creates like a lot of heartbreak.
Wow. And it sounds a bit like, I don't know, a kind of lack of self-trust, like knowing whether this is the right thing for me or not. And this kind of fear of making a mistake, like, what if I got it wrong because the other guy or the other girl was there and I didn't realize.
Yeah.
It feels like these kind of, like, quite strong kind of fears.
Yeah, there is a lot of fear, and
A lot
also
of fear.
a lot around the quality, because a lot of people are meeting online now. They'll say things and do things that they wouldn't necessarily do if you were sat in front of them in a bar, or in a restaurant, or in a cafe. They'll say things or send pictures. We all know what I'm talking about there. You wouldn't necessarily do in a public place, because they feel like they can hide behind the screen because they don't actually know someone. So in some ways, dating apps are an amazing way to meet someone, but you also see the worst of people as well. And the big problem is that people get very wrapped up in seeing the worst of people and forget to focus on the best in people. And really, it's just like, okay, block, next. The real mentality you have to have with these kind of dating apps is like, that's not for me, that's not for me, that's not for me. And just focus on those few who are for you.
Brilliant. Okay, Danny. And do you think, like, dating apps are making it easier for people to meet the right person, or do you think it's making it more difficult, or do you think times are making it more difficult? Do you think there's something about the times that we're in now, or
it's such a mix? It's not. It's like it's not one of those things. It's kind of all of them. What I do feel now is that because of how many dating apps there have been, because there's this thing around like dating app fatigue, actually people are taking a step back. And what's happening is people are calling out now for more quality. I think in the beginning, like 5-6 years ago, 7 years ago, there was like, oh my God, look at this, it's amazing, and let's like more. But it's like with anything, right? It's like you can have chocolate cake, but if you eat 5,000 chocolate cakes, you eventually get sick of that. And then you want something healthier. And that's what I help people do. I help people have healthy, quality relationships. And I do feel like a lot more people now are calling out for like what's quality, what's healthy, what feels good, and what are the things I need to do to discern to create more of that.
And how much? Sorry, Danny. How much is? Sorry. How much does that tie into like our self-concept and like sort of issues around worth and what we deserve, and these, when you were talking before about, you know, the way the ego influences, I mean, how much does that play a role in what we kind of attract, or, you know, what we can expect to achieve? I mean, I'm just imagining somebody who's with lower self-worth, it might not feel like they deserve to have that, or they can't quite believe it's going to happen for them because of the way that the ego sort of, you know, trains our minds. And what sort of role does that play in quality?
It is the absolute basis and foundation of the kind of quality that people not only attract, but who they choose to stay with. So a big piece, you know, that I am currently like holding a Facebook series, and you can find it on my website, which is jdiamond.co.uk. From there you can go to work with me, and there's a list of all these different workshops and classes, and one of the things we're talking about is codependency. And codependency is sneaky, because there's like the very obvious codependency, which is what most people talk about. People think, okay, codependency is if I'm with an addict, you know, if they have a drug issue, if they have a drinking issue and it's pretty bad, but I don't leave, that's codependency. But actually, it's so much sneakier than that. It's where we fear abandonment if we are in our sovereign power. It's where we continually put the other person's fears, needs, desires, wants always before our own. And that happens when we're not in our own sovereign power. And many of us don't really know what that really looks like, because of the conditioning that we've had from our families, especially for women. You know, the kind of condition that their value as a woman, as a human, as a person, is around them being picked by a partner, by how successful their marriage is, by like when they settle down and have children or not. There's so much social conditioning around that. There's different social conditioning for men, and that also comes up in their relationships. You know, if they've had a mother that doesn't let them speak, that tells them that they should always do the right thing, they lose their own sovereign power. They want to make their partner happy, but it comes from a place of disempowering themselves. They don't speak their needs. Perhaps they become passive aggressive, and then you have this relationship dynamic that gets a little bit tricky. So like really the route to like ultimate healthy relationship, people go on YouTube and they'll be like, what's the strategy, what's the text that I need to send to create more attraction? Like, how do I, like, people in relationships, how do I create more passion? Like, what underwear do I need to wear? What haircut do I need to have? Like, maybe I need to lose weight and then we'll have better sex. But the truth is, it's deeper than that, and it always comes from like you pouring into you and looking at like, where am I giving my power away and how do I call it back? And then once you allow yourself to do that and you allow your partner, wow, then this kind of luxurious love starts to open. Then this kind of deeper passion starts to come through. And that's the paradigm of relationship that I'm open and making people available to.
Sounds incredible. It's like sort of tapping into that source that we've all got within us, of that kind of confidence and surety, and putting ourselves first, but not in a selfish kind of way, kind of in a way where we can be equal. Like there's no imbalance in that. And I think it's easy for us as well, like but with clients who they seem to be in patterns of relationships that don't work, and it's very easy for us to blame them. You know, hear this a lot, like all men are X, Y, and Z, and you can't trust men, and men, and you know that sort of. And I'm sure it's the same for men as well. That, you know, in sort of patterns like that, and we keep sort of projecting it out like it's because of them, and toxic masculinity. We've got all these kind of like sort of movements around that. But yeah, essentially it's about how we are and what we're attracting in and how we're feeling.
And how we address what comes into our world. Because here's the thing. We want to put the finger out there and say, you doing this and you're doing that. But we are always in control of what we allow into our own world. That's the truth.
That's a big responsibility.
It's a big responsibility. And we're so quick to shake off that responsibility and say, well, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. And although some of that might be true, another person might be behaving inappropriately, you are responsible for what you allow into your life, into your world, and into your body as a woman. So is it at the quality and is it at the standard that you know that you should have, or are you allowing your standards to drop in exchange for approval, in exchange for love that might be laced with some toxicity, but it's better than nothing, right? And so like when women step into my world, they get a wake-up call, but they transform very quickly as well, because I'm not allowing them to place with their responsibility outside of themselves all the time. And it's the same with men. You know, I have men that come to me for work. I have other dating coaches that come for me for work, because we all need to up level. Same as I have mentors, you know, and healers as well. None of us are like, you know, I'm not in that enlightened place yet, you know, where I don't need anything and anybody. It's so helpful to have someone to see your blind spots. And when you can start to kind of come in and say, okay, so how am I co-creating this experience? I might not be doing that behavior, but what in me is holding this in place? And we can really get to the bottom of that. Once you get to that core spot, it changes your entire life, because your whole confidence up levels, your whole ability to receive greatly increases. And like when I see that, you know, in my clients, it's amazing the changes that happen.
That's brilliant, because it's not just about their relationships, it's about life, like the quality that they bring through into everything that they do.
Absolutely, it is. Wow. Relationship is just one piece, you know, and that's why I talk a little bit about it in the book as well. And with clients, when we have conditioning, you might call it like a shadow consciousness, a place where you are withholding or in fear, or you're withholding your power. Once that's released, that releases across your life. Like my clients often start to make more money, or they get promotions, or like the relationship with their parents shift, because that place where they were withholding the power opens, and that power becomes available across their life. And that's exciting.
That is exciting. Brilliant. Let's talk about sex. You help people with relationships, and obviously sex is a big part of that as well. And we've actually got a little clip of you speaking live about sex, and in particular sort of 3 points, which we'll talk about in a little second. But I'm just going to check with the producer. Let's just see if we can just see Jay in action doing what she does best. See if we can have this clip on.
So these dopamine rules the reward centers of the body. So you feel giddy, you feel energetic, you feel euphoric. It's that kind of energy where it's like, oh my God, it's all encompassing, isn't it? When you first meet someone that you're really attracted to, you're always thinking about them. And if we stayed like that, we probably wouldn't get very much done at all. But it kind of takes over the mind completely. And so because dopamine runs the reward system of the brain, it's actually the same stuff that lights up the brain when people take cocaine. The same area of the brain lights up with regards to the dopamine pathways when someone takes cocaine as when they are newly attracted to someone in a relationship. It's the same area of the brain. So it's very, let's say, overwhelming, the feeling and the energy, right? And so when there's love and attachment in particular, love and attachment is around oxytocin and vasopressin. That's the one I needed to remember. Oxytocin and vasopressin. So oxytocin is like what they call the love hormone or the cuddle hormone. Oxytocin is released when you hug someone for a long time. Oxytocin is the bonding chemical as well. So women release oxytocin when they're breastfeeding, but also during sex and orgasm as well. And it's what really bonds us to somebody. So
that's great, brilliant. So you're talking there, Jay. I just heard that you were talking about dopamine. I know the clip was about the sort of 3 most important things that we can learn about sex, but can we just talk about that a little bit? I mean, dopamine fascinates me, but how does that how does that fit in with sex?
Right. So when a couple, this is really good for couples who have been together a long time. This is one of the big things when I'm working with married women or married men, or just couples who've been together a long time, and that kind of sexual desire starts to really wane. And they'll say, like, I love this person, but I just don't feel that kind of sexual attraction that we used to have. And so dopamine is the piece where we can start to get that fire going again. And how do we do that? Well, we do that through having shared experiences together that feel fun, that feel exciting, and that requires you to go out and have dates like you used to when you first got together. So, sometimes it's very easy for us to get in a little bit of a routine where we're like, okay, we'll go for date night, we'll go for a nice meal, a nice, safe, relaxing meal, which is lovely, but it doesn't create any excitement chemicals in the body. It's
Okay.
nice. And so that's a lot of what we get into in our relationship: comfortability, safety, and feeling nice. So, if we think about the energy of love is the energy of having. Okay, we have it, it's nice, it feels comfortable, it feels so safe. But the energy of desire is the energy of wanting. It's the energy of passion, is that energy of desire coming towards. It means that there's a gap. And we have to sort of recreate that gap. Like when you're first dating someone and it feels exciting, a lot of that chemistry is actually the uncertainty. What we label as like sexual chemistry is actually uncertainty. Does this person like me? Do they want me? Like, what's happening? So when you see your partner at their best, and when you feel, often what people report about when they feel attraction to them is when your partner is doing the thing that they love. It's often like separate from you. So let's say, for instance, your partner is at a business meeting, or he's a speaker and he's on stage and he's speaking and he's doing his thing, and you're watching him shine, and you're watching him like in his power, in his flow, and you're seeing that other people are seeing that as well. It's like something in you sparks, and it's like you get to know him again outside of just the current day-to-day reality. That's what sparks the power. So it's like when you go out and you do things together, it's not like a nice meal together. Like we're going out and we're like going on a fairground ride. That kind of stuff releases dopamine and excitement in the body. Like just as an example, like an Alton Towers, or we're going paragliding, or even just like going to explore a new town together. Or it could be exploring something together sexually that you've decided that you've not done before, and you're like, okay, let's try this thing. About what our boundaries are around it. But that creates, although you might not in the beginning feel the passion and the flow, talking about let's try this new exciting thing together creates more of that energy.
Wow. Yeah. So doing something different, something that kind of recreates that, like you say, the atmosphere that was around when you meet, which is principally uncertainty and anxiety, but something around just kind of like, and seeing your partner in a different light, in a different role, something that can spark something new and interesting. Brilliant. Is that one of the key things? Is this what we're talking about on the video? Like this sort of these 3 elements that we can appreciate in knowing how to
remember everything that was in that that live. It's about 45 minutes, but one of that is one of the things that can recreate passion in your sex life and recreate it's about attraction to your partner, isn't it? Sexual attraction. You know, we have this often in long-term relationship, you have this love and this deep respect, and it's deeper than sex. When you're deciding to be with someone through your life, it's deeper than just this sexual gratification, but we want to have that as well. You know, we don't want to have to choose either or, but it does take intention. You know, people kind of expect that this healthy, great, juicy relationship is just going to happen by itself, and it doesn't. It happens by choice, not by chance. And the couples that are successful in the long term are those that really know that it happens by choice, and I'm going to choose to put, you know, energy into creating a great sex life for us.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Just got a couple of questions through on the chat, and yeah, I think this is important to note as well. You know, for people that are not in a relationship, single people, for whatever reason, that might be choice as well. Like they might choose not to be in a relationship. And somebody's asked here, do you think that you can have a healthy life by yourself without sex or romantic connection?
That's a good question. Thank you. I think that's very individual. To be honest, that's not for me to reply what you think is healthy for you, but I'll give you my point of view on that. Absolutely, you can have a healthy life without sex or romantic connection. Sometimes, though, we think we want a life without sex or without romantic connection because it's actually what we're doing to keep ourselves feeling safe. And that's a different kettle of fish. You can also enjoy sex without having another person present. Like you can have a great sexual experience with yourself. And I think it's very healthy to develop your own sexual practice, your own sexual self-pleasuring practice, because that is a life force current that feeds the body. Sexual energy nourishes the body, and when you meet people who are in their really sovereign sexual aliveness, they have a vibrancy about them. They have this you know, sexual energy is so potent, so powerful, so beautiful. You can use it to heal the organs of your own body. It is magic. So it's absolutely worth cultivating your own sexual practice and learning about that, and like allowing yourself to move sexual energy through your body. And it's very nourishing. But sometimes people cut themselves off subconsciously because they're afraid of being hurt.
Yeah, I think it's understanding the motivation behind it. You know, I suppose if you're on a spiritual path or you're at a certain age, or, you know, whatever that may be, or you're using that energy in different ways, or you're transmuting that in some sort of way or something, then yeah. But if it's because there's a fear element to it, we're scared of being seen or being hurt and those things, then
you can still be happy even with that.
Yeah.
It's just to have a look at, isn't it?
There's no right or wrong way. That's brilliant. Lovely. Okay, darling. So there's some more questions here, but it just open up. So we start venturing down there. So I just want to thank the people that have written. I'm just going to mention this though. Does the universe decide your partner for you? Or is it somebody that we go out there and sort of find? Sort of understanding that kind of, you know, dream.
This question. Here's the thing. Life is full of love. And if there's one thing that you get from this, there is the only one true soulmate is yourself. There are a number of soulmates and divine life partners available for you in each and every lifetime. And sometimes you have a choice to go deep with one. And there's a difference between a soulmate, who is someone to learn with, and a divine life partner, who is someone that you're choosing to move through your life with. And if that relationship disintegrates, dissolves, evolves, there is absolutely somebody else who is able to meet you in love, because it's like life is abundant. When an avocado tree grows, it doesn't grow one avocado and that's your lot for life. there's more, there's more, there's more, there's more. We're always a choice.
Gorgeous. Lovely. Well, what a beautiful note to end on. Thank you so much, Jay. Could you just share a bit about how people find you, your website, you're on Instagram?
Yeah.
A bit about, you've got some workshops coming up as well, is that right?
Yeah, one of the best ways is to find me on Facebook, on my Facebook page, which is Ms. MS JAY Diamond. And if you go to the video tabs on that page, there's loads of free videos, loads of information, loads of posts. If you go to my website, it's jaydiamond.co.uk. On that home page, there's an option for singles to get some videos about creating a soulmate. There's an orgasmic energy connection for couples, so you can get that video for free. You just pop your email in and it will send that to you.
Fantastic. That's absolutely wonderful. So it's been great having you on the show. Let's keep in touch for sure, and maybe you can revisit us again at some point in the future and see what's going on. And just wanted to say big congratulations on your baby as well.
She's so being cute. I love
Gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous, absolutely stunning. So well done, and thank you, Jay. And I'll see you again soon.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay, everybody, now we're going to cut away to Christina Baddy, who has our regular Mayan calendar update report for us. Thanks, Christina.
Hey there, it's Christina and welcome to your Galactic Mayan report for Saturday, the 22nd of August. So today is a white electric world bridger day, and that is the third day of the yellow seed wave spell, which we entered into on Thursday. So electric is all around flow, it's around current, it's around stepping into the sacred trinity. It's what needs to change, what needs to move through. It's really got a movement energy to it, has the electric days and tones. White world bridger is death, the great equalizer, it's opportunity. So it's really about looking into what needs to die, what needs to fold over to create change and movement with the combination of these two energies. As I said, this is the third day of the yellow seed wave spell. And the yellow seed, as we were discussing last week, is all around the seed of potential that we hold within us. It's about really stepping into the truth of who we are, about listening deeply and intently into what our spirit, what the universe is showing us about what the truth of who we are is. Now then, today also happens to be the very first day that we enter into a 10-day run of portal days. Now, we had one of these within the red serpent wave spell, and there's only 2 times that this happens within the 9-month process. So 10 days of portal days means that the real opportunity for dropping into where the veils are thinner and the energy is stronger. So as we're working through the primary chunk of this yellow seed wave spell, we're really got the opportunity to work deeply with these energies. So great opportunity to meditate, to journal, to do automatic writing, anything we can do to access into that seed that's hidden deep within us, to be able to activate it, to bring that energy through so that we can really step deeper and more profoundly into our potential. We're going to be in the yellow seed energy the whole of this week. So have a beautiful week. Really drop into yourself. Feel the energies. Allow it to be transmuted. We are still within that blue castle of transformation. This is the final leg of that particular castle or Mayan month. So really drop into it. Allow yourself to feel all that needs to be seen. Find that eye of the storm that you can be to be able to witness the patterns that are showing up for you and be able to approach it with forgiveness, with acceptance and with love. Sending you so much love. I hope you have a wonderful week. Get into nature, journal, do anything and everything you can to really make the most of these portal days. And I will see you next week for another Galactic Mayan report. Take care. See you later. Bye.
And welcome back, everybody, and thank you so much, Christina. And thank you to Jay for being our first guest on the show today. And I'm now being joined by our second guest, and very excited to be chatting to Craig Winterburn today. I don't know what it is about you, Craig. Every time I see you or hear you, it always like lifts my spirit somehow. So it's great. Thank you for agreeing to come on the show. I've been bumping into you a little bit recently as well. So I just thought it'd be good to have a catch up and see what's happening. And Craig, can you just share a little bit about what you do, like what your skills are and what it is that you're sharing with people at the moment?
At the minute, I am, well, for the last 3.5 years, I've been, studying gongs and sound therapy there within, and doing gong baths or sound healing journeys, whatever you want to call them. I don't really like gong baths because everybody asks, do I need to bring a swimsuit? So that's why I stayed away from gong bath. It's sound healing therapy journey, whatever. Also repair drums for a living, reskin djembes. Been doing drumming workshops. I'm kind of steering away from the drumming. I still drum now and again, but if I can find a decent circle to drum with, but mostly, repairing drums is my other line of business.
Wow, oh, brilliant! And are you a musician as well, Craig? Do you play like other instruments?
I bash out the guitar a little bit. Yeah, wouldn't say play it because my first instrument is a drummer. So a drummer playing the guitar is sketchy to say the least. But I use it as a songwriting tool. Have done for the last 20 years, and I write songs with it really.
Brilliant. Great. So I was having a quick look at your bio somewhere and seeing that you've got like quite a strong artistic background, and that in '94 you went to Manchester Met and you studied like arts in the community there. And I'm just really curious about that. Like, where did that kick off? Like, where did you get drawn into sort of more artistic or musical things? Was that a young age, or what happened there?
Up until then, I was playing drum kit in bands, and played in numerous sort of indie bands, and I guess, so by the age of like 28, 30, which is when that was, well, I would have been 32. I just got sick of playing in bands.
Okay.
Not sick of playing it, but I got sick of every time a band split up, you'd be left with nothing. You'd have to restart again. So, for instance, that's when I started writing a little bit as well. I thought, I'll just write for myself. It kind of escalated a little bit, but the community arts thing. I was sort of re-educating myself or educating myself, doing loads of courses, mostly sport, really. Swimming instructor, lifeguarding, sports coaching, physiology, the whole bit, really. I went through all that and I thought, well, that's not really me. What am I going to do?
Wow.
And somebody suggested this. Actually, a girl, I think it came through Nancy Barrett, who is massive in the community arts field. I think she's over in Halifax now somewhere, but she was in Salford at the time, working a lot with Walk the Plank, who I did a few projects with initially after I became a community artist. I mean, that course changed my life. It was absolutely brilliant. There was so many different modules on it that were real eye openers. Singing for one, but also so I mean, from the singing, I kind of wanted to explore my voice more. So I went to Band on the Wall, did a couple of years there, singing with a kind of a gospel type blues sort of on a course, and I learned to sing. It was absolutely brilliant. I mean, that was like 1993, 94. So I learned to sing. Did all the scales every week. It was great. It was mind blowing. Absolutely mind blowing. From that, I had the confidence to write and sing my own songs. From that, which is where the singer-songwriter comes from.
I didn't know you sang as well. That's really interesting. So So it's kind of like a natural progression, and you're realizing that you don't want the rise and, you know, this kind of turbulence of being in bands and the unpredictability and that sort of stuff, and sort of forging your own way. And so how did it kind of lead into doing healing and finding out about, you know, healing and sound healing?
I guess, well, in a lot of ways, it was an eye opener. So from that, I became a teacher, unbeknowingly to me. I mean, I just thought I'm a workshop leader, but as it went on, it was like, well, yeah, there's more to it. I'm passing on skills that I've learned, drumming, etc., etc. But the more I did it, so over a course of 20 years, really, doing workshops, people coming up to me and saying, "Oh, this is brilliant! It's changed my life," and you know, really, you know, it's really opened me up to new directions, things like this.
So you're doing workshops in drumming then? Is that
I was doing drumming. I did a lot of festivals. Did about 9 and 10 festivals a year.
Right.
And I used to take. I've got a year. I've got a year. I used to take the year, which was kind of like the catalyst for come drumming here, sort of thing. And one festival in particular I did for like 17 years. So I had like regular people that came to that every year, and that was a week long. So it was a really good sort of stint, which always ended up in a performance. And the feedback was amazing. So, but the more I did it, and then I travelled out to Africa with the people I was studying with, doing African drumming. Yeah, mind blown again. You know, with the African drumming, it sort of enters you in a different way. Do you know what I mean? And I had some pretty sort of amazing experiences in Africa. You know, that just sort of what's the word? Astral planing. Do you know what I mean? I was like, it just would knock me out. You know, and
wow.
I wasn't playing, I was listening, and it would just take me somewhere else. And I was like, well, what's going on here? You know, there's something more going on here. So that was about 10 years ago. So from 10 years to sort of now, I've been studying and looking into what's going on physically and mentally with the drums and things like that. And the more I looked into it, the more, you know, it became apparent that it's having a sort of quite a major effect on you, you know, in a healing way, or balancing way, even, you know. So from that, it was like, well, I wanna know more, you know. So
Brilliant.
And that's when I was looking around about 3 or 4 years ago. I was looking around for more education, you know. And I came across Martin Cawthorne. He was the Northwest sort of trainer for being a gongsmith, you know, for the International Practitioners of Holistic Medicine, who I became qualified with after a year with Martin. And so and again, mind blown, you know, from studying all that and looking into the science of it and what's really going on, what it does to your body, you know, in a physical way, and your mind as well at the same time. It's a really quite a phenomenal thing, you know.
Has it made you kind of look at life differently? It sounds like you had like real, what we might say, like spiritual experience in Africa, and kind of like, you know, the frequencies of whatever was happening there took you to these different places, and like, you know, just getting that different viewpoint. I mean, was that new for you then, or was that, you know, something that blew your mind, and then, you know, you see things differently?
I've had experience as a drum kit player.
Yeah.
There were times, you know, that I'd be playing the drum kit and it'd be like, well, this doesn't even feel like me, you know. Again, sort of astral planing. I'd be like, I could do it, and I could see, I could go anywhere on the drum kit, and I could play anything I wanted, you know. And I knew that, and I felt it. It wouldn't last for long, you know. It might last for like a minute, and then you come back, and you'd be like, right, this is a struggle, you know. Get back into like struggling drum kit player. But for like, you know, there were a few times when it was just like, wow, somebody else is playing here, you know.
Wow. almost like out of body, like you left like your sort of physical constraints.
Absolutely, completely out of body. Sort of, yeah, it wasn't me playing. It was like, it was and it wasn't, but it was just that sort of, yeah, there's some sort of deeper connection going on really that I wasn't aware of, at the time.
Wow.
And the things in Africa, I was just watching and listening, and I was at a party one time, a street party, just in the middle of nowhere, and I don't even know what the ceremony was, but they were playing these instruments, and I just couldn't figure it out at all. I'm like, what the hell is that noise? What's going on? And the more I sort of listened to it, and the deeper I went, and sort of like just completely lost myself, And I'd be like, I was rocking around on my chair, and all the kids were laughing at me, and I was aware of it, and I was just like, well, I can't do anything about this. I was just like rocking, half in a sort of trance sleep sort of thing, but also really aware of it. The music had just completely taken control of me, my body, my mind, everything, and I just had to let it in and let go, because there was nothing I could. Yeah, amazing, really changed my life.
Wow. And I wonder if, like, on some level, that's what you want other people to experience, like, what that's like. It must be great to like be sharing the potential of that experience with other people.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, initially through the drumming, I could see that people were getting that, when I do like these full week courses at festivals, and they were just like, I was pretty flabbergasted with it to begin with. They were just like, for me, it's just like drumming and things like that. But they were like, no, you're the best teacher. It was just amazing. Had some amazing experiences. It's just, I'm really gonna keep it up, So, yeah, the more I did it, the more I sort of want to do it, and I still do, I'm sort of, yeah, quite passionate about. Yeah, check this out, feel this, this is going to blow your mind, you know what I mean? Without really wanting to push it on to anybody. It's not for everybody, I guess, you know what I mean? But you should at least at some point in your life try this out, because it's good for you, it's healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're learning so much more about the role of sound, frequency, and health, and just us as being energetic beings as well, and how we can use these. It's like technology really, but it's really ancient stuff that we're tapping back into. Find out who else we are more than who we think we are. So you've been doing that for a while, and I know you were pretty kind of not for six through the lockdown period. It feels like you're just starting to emerge, as many of us are. We're just starting to kind of tentatively emerge from that. But yeah, I mean, your work's outside. It's festivals, it's people, it's it's groups, and just briefly, like, how was it, and how are things shaping up now, looking into the future?
Yeah, hit pretty hard, I guess. Really, realised pretty quickly I couldn't do anything online. For one, it wasn't really going to come across. You know what I mean? The gongs are a different thing. Even drumming, it's I couldn't get the sound quality. I've got the sound quality now. I've got decent equipment. I'm just waiting for fiber optics to arrive in the street, and then I could maybe do something live. But the broadband that we have in England is just pants. It's just really rubbish. Fiber optics is going to be a bit better, but wait and see. I mean, I might not even do it then. Yeah, so I had a really hard time initially. I had a relationship breakdown as well, and that
it all hit at once.
That was really pants. So I mean, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm still getting over that, really. So just dealing with it day by day, really. I've been away for the last nearly 3 weeks, actually. Just getting out of Manchester, come back, do a little bit of work, and then get out in my van again, So I've been to Colwyn Bay, Wales, middle of Wales. I was there for a week, did a bit of filming. That'll be on YouTube soon.
Right.
Just come back from Oxfordshire, where I did a bit of filming and playing and stuff like that.
So things are picking up a little bit. And I know
So, yeah.
you've been doing some gong baths at the community garden centre in Hume as well, sort of starting to pick things up. And you're going to be helping us out there in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So on the 6th of September, it's a week on Sunday, I think, we're going to be holding a wellness day, a DIY wellness day outside the Nimo Centre and in the community garden centre. So I'm hoping you're going to share a little bit there as well and talk a little bit more there, just for people to understand like the massive healing benefits of what you do and sound therapy.
What date was that again? You put it back, you say?
Yes, it's a week, 2 weeks on Sunday. But also, Craig, people can get access to your work and watch your videos and find out stuff from your website as well. Your website, and you've got a YouTube channel.
The YouTube channel is just look up Craig Winterburn and go into videos.
The videos there. There's some brilliant videos on.
Songs.
Really good. Check out Craig's episode that he filmed during lockdown for his own little TV show. We didn't get it together to play it, but I highly recommend people tune in and watch that on there.
That was good fun, actually.
It was good fun.
Yeah, I mean, that was my lockdown, really. I was just, from week one, I was out making films. I was just like, right, sod this, I can't get online. What am I going to do? The only thing I could do was make films.
Right.
So I bought a new camera, bought a new laptop, and just set about it. Really didn't have a clue what I was doing at all.
Well, there's some gems on there.
Yes, just got on with it. And by the end, making half decent pop videos, so they're well worth a watch, the pop videos. The first one that I made was a thing called Get Behind a Wheel, which is a nice song. And visually, I was just out there. So that was week one, just lockdown. I just got on with that, and I knew I had to get on with doing something that's sort of balance myself. Do you know what I mean? Because nothing else was working.
Good.
My kids weren't here. My kids were at their mums, so I didn't see them. Well, I went to go around, but I was like in the street, and I would see them on the doorstep. Really harsh, really hard. And my relationship was in tatters. So it was all really hard stuff. But
you've been through it, Craig, no doubt.
Yeah, really.
Well, let's hope things are brightening up and things get a lot better. I'm sure they will do as we sort of come out of this crazy time. Hopefully.
I've got 2 baths in the garden centre now, so I'm gonna have to go in a minute.
All right, Danny. Well, that's absolutely great. Thank you so much, Craig. What we're going to do though is play one of your videos. It's a 10-minute video. It's a gong sound healing journey. It's only 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So, and we're gonna play that as soon as you shoot off. But if anybody wanted to be listening to this, what do you recommend? They put earplugs in. What should they do?
Yeah, put headphones on or a decent sound system. If you've got one of these, plug it in. Got one of them, plug it in. It's got to have a good bass on it. Or good headphones like this.
Good headphones, yeah.
Okay,
brilliant.
Which one are you playing?
It's the 10-minute one. I think it's the wind gong.
Oh, video. Lovely. Yeah, okay.
Very, very nice. All right, Danny. So it's an invitation for people to get themselves. Oh, it's Windy Gong Garden, the producers just said. So yeah, get yourselves nice and comfortable, and maybe what you want to do is set an intention as well. So if you've got anything in particular that you want to heal, could be an emotion, a physical thing, a dilemma you've got going on, just bring that in now. Just call that in, and just allow your attention to go to it, and then let the sound waves just do their work, and just relax and just keeping your breath nice and even, and just immerse yourself into the experience, which is Craig's gongs. And thank you so much, Craig. Hope to see you in a couple of weeks anyway. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Let's hope the sun comes back out.
Yeah.
And thank you. And we'll come to the video in a second. And I just want to say goodbye. You're free to go, Craig. You need to go.
Bye.
Bye, darling. So I just want to say goodbye to everybody who's tuned in this week or is watching at a later date. It's been a great show this week. Next week, we have a chap with us called Bart de Greaves, I think is his surname, a Dutch guy who's doing amazing work with an organisation called Bright Sky community, and he's joining us to talk about this really unusual, very interesting venture next week. So tune into that. And of course, the week after, we are having the DIY Wellness Day. We're going to be streaming live from there as well. So get in touch if you're a practitioner, and you might want to help us get involved on the day. Then please do get in touch. And also, if you have anything that you might want to find out about, let us know about that also. We've got all kinds of different practitioners coming talking about nutrition and anxiety and stress management and yoga and all kinds of things today. So we're all really looking forward to that, and be a chance to meet people as well if you wanted to come down. That's it for this week. So I've really enjoyed it. Of course, get in touch with Jay if you've got any relationships or sexual questions. And big thanks to Craig. Settle down, and I hope you really enjoy the healing. See you next week.